Good morning, mi gente. Welcome to the Faye What Show. Today we are joined by the Senior Vice President of Inclusion and Accessibility for Visit Lauderdale. And I have no idea what that actually means, but we're going to find out, right? That is Richard Gray. Yes, the iconic Richard Gray. He's a global travel trailblazer who continues to push the envelope to ignite social change and is one of the leading figures in the travel platform. His work with the transgender community led to Visit Lauderdale being the first DMO to be recognized by the UN for support of the transgender community. He's also a recipient of countless honors. We ain't got time to be talking about all his honors, a lot of them, including 2024 Travelability Accessibility Champions Award. Most recently, he was also honored by the country of Brazil and Argentina, the whole country, for his commitment to inclusion. I am thrilled to have Richard Gray on my show. Welcome, Richard Gray. That's my audience, Richard.
I'm exhausted. I need a drink.
You know that sometimes watching your social, I get freaking exhausted from everywhere that you're at, and you're saying you're exhausted. Wow.
I am.
Welcome to my bed, Richard. How are you,
know,
puppy?
I can't remember when I last was in bed with a woman.
Think back.
I have to say, I like it.
Do you like it? All
I
right.
like it.
As long as I don't touch you, we're good, right?
Kelly, you can touch me. Kelly, what do you think? What do you think, my little cheeky pie? What do you think?
Oh my God. So Miss Kelly is a Scotty and she is just gorgeous and she belongs to Richard Gray. And of course I was like, bring her along. You know, she gives this bed more beauty, right?
She's a princess.
Like her daddy.
Well, yeah. I'd like to say I'm a prince.
You are a prince.
I'm a prince.
She's
our princess.
You are. How long have you been with Visit Lauderdale now, Richard?
Permanently since 2008.
Wow, yeah. It's been that long. Mm-hmm. God, we're so blessed to have you here. I mean, and before I start this interview, I just want to tell you, thank you for all you do, okay? Like, I know that, no, I'm serious, you know? Like, your trailblazing ways have just led the way for others to do the same, you know? You are just a countless supporter of so many of our organizations, and we're going to get to a lot of that. But I wanted to get you in bed for a while. Ooh, wait, that sounded wrong.
I like it.
I wanted to get you in bed for a while because you inspire me, Richard. And when people inspire me, I want to get to know them more. I want to know more about them. You know, our community is freaking marginalized. We go through a lot of shit.
We do. We are marginalized, sadly.
You know,
I wish we weren't.
I wish we weren't, you know. So when it comes to trailblazers like you that are constantly pushing the envelope, constantly representing us wherever the F you go, in Argentina, in Brazil, wherever you go, you know, you go down to Miami, you represent us. That is how you are, you know. And so I've always been interested in how this all started. You're originally from the UK, from London.
I am from London. I'm very proud to be a Londoner.
Do you ever lose an accent once you are born in London?
I think I've lost a little bit of my accent, but when I go back home to England, then all of a sudden I have my very British accent.
Is that how it happens?
And then I come back and I think I speak more British, and then it softens a little bit. So it's kind of ebbs and flows.
Does anybody tell you you're so Americanized?
No.
No, no, never. My brother moved to London, okay, and I'm Puerto Rican Colombian. He's Puerto Rican Colombian, and like in 2 years, he sounded like a Brit, right? So he calls everybody the C word.
Right, the C word.
Yes, which you don't use the C word in the U.S., but in London, it's very common to use.
The C
it's
word.
like saying homegirl, you know. And so he called my sister the C word, and she burst into tears because.
Oh my God, that's like being called Chelsea Football Club.
And that's bad too. Just saying, you know, and that's bad too. So you're originally from London. You worked on the London Stock Exchange.
I did. I went from school to the London Stock Exchange, and I specialised in South African mining and gold share mining. Mm-hmm. And I sort of had an incredible boss who was grooming me for bigger and better things. And I went to South Africa, spent a lot of time in Johannesburg. And ultimately, I was given the opportunity to move to the United States to work in our office in New York City. And they wanted me to be the liaison between the New York office and London. So I embraced that. I was like, wow, you know, what an amazing opportunity, you know, to move to New York City.
Yes, and so New York has always had that popularity, right? And like even in London, you're like, oh, I'm going to New York. I'm going to move to New York. I mean, like, were you thinking the hottest men in the world are in New York? I'm moving to New York.
No, I wasn't thinking the hottest men in New York, but what I was thinking was just the lure of New York, the energy, that concrete jungle, the vastness of it, America, I grew up watching, American movies, and, New York had, such an appeal.
Yeah.
That for me was more exciting than thinking about men.
Till he got there, right?
Trust me, when I got there, let me tell you something. When I got there, I had a goal. And of course, my goal was to work very hard and be successful and do the best that I can. But it was also to visit every gay bar in New York City, in Manhattan. I swear to God. And I did it in a year.
Did you?
I did it in a year.
Okay, so this is what, the 80s and 90s? When is this?
This is the 80s. And so I went to some of the very famous bars, like the Mine Shaft.
Ooh, I like
Yes.
that. I love that. That's a great name for a bar, the Mine Shaft.
The Mine Shaft. Of course, the Eagle and whatever, but the Mine Shaft was a very famous bar for a multitude of reasons that I'm not going to go into.
Yeah, I bet. I bet you they had a back room like the Eagle.
Well, I know they had a front room.
The thing is, Richard never got past the front, so he doesn't even know what happened in the back.
I heard they had a back room.
I bet. They probably had to start the back room because you took over the front room.
I think I was too scared to go to the back room, if truth be known, but because I think I was shy, and here I was, this kind of young, innocent-ish Brit in New York City, away from home, away from my family, and it was exciting, but at the same time, sometimes I would have pangs of loneliness
Of course.
too, and it was adjusting to the American lifestyle. It took me basically 1 year to adjust to living in New York City. I didn't really find people overly friendly, or if I was lost and I would say, to somebody, can I help you? People would ignore me. And I was like, oh my God, why am I being ignored? I'm lost. And so it took me a while. I realized how incredible New Yorkers are. They're wonderful, amazing people.
Yes, but they don't have time for you.
They just, And I was coming from a different culture, completely different, where you would go around to someone's house and have a cup of tea, for example, or you would literally just go to a friend and just show up and knock on their door. In the United States, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Nobody-
You throw rocks from
Nobody
downstairs
knocks on
if you
your
go
door.
there. No.
And so it was that adjustment, adjusting from the kind of the snobbery and the etiquette, the social etiquette, if you like, of Britain, coming to maybe what I would use the brashness of the United States.
Yeah.
There was a brashness, a brassness, a brashness. But, at the same time, I was like, oh, man, this was amazing.
Can't wait for this new journey.
It was so exciting.
My God. I mean, come on. It's New York. It's the Village. It's Broadway. It's Times Square. I'd be remiss to not mention that during that time, it was during the AIDS crisis, correct?
It was. And I would see what was going on. I'd see what was going on. I would see, people, very sick people walking around the streets, and I, got to know a lot of people. And in fact, I think it was the AIDS crisis that really made me, Richard Gray, who I am today. And I think why I have been able to accomplish so much for our community and for awareness within the allies, etc., is I became a volunteer with Larry Kramer at Gay Men's Health Crisis.
Oh, wow.
So I was one of the very early buddy team captains. I lived on Bleecker Street, 77 Bleecker Street, and that was kind of on the borders of Chelsea, when Chelsea, wasn't even popular. It was just a neighborhood Chelsea. It was not as glamorous it is now. And so I was in charge of a team. I had about 10 people. So each person had looked after a person with AIDS. And so that we would do their grocery shopping, pay their bills, shower them, do all sorts of things, talk to their family. And it was very moving for me, because when I would meet their family, often their family had disowned them. They weren't interested in them. Didn't want to touch them. And to be honest with you, from the get-go, I never wore gloves or anything when I was doing their laundry or bathing them or anything like that, because I don't know why. I didn't. For me, I knew I wasn't going to catch AIDS from bathing them, or doing their laundry. But their family were really. It disturbed me that families could disown their sons.
Yeah.
When they were when they were dying.
When they were dying. But they were. That time is just laced with such horrible rhetoric against our community. Right. Reagan wasn't even mentioning that this was going on. Right. Our boys were dying at a high rate, and no one gave a shit.
But we have to thank the lesbian community. We have to thank drag queens. We have to thank hustlers.
Yeah.
There are people that we really owe our hats to, the transgender community. And they're the ones, when Stonewall happened, that were really there for us. And especially, during the AIDS crisis, I mean, lesbians were first and foremost there looking after their gay boys. And it was a very emotional time. It's something that I really don't talk about a lot, but I get very emotional when I talk about it, because when I left New York City and moved to Fort Lauderdale in 1991, I lost everybody I knew. Everybody I knew was dead.
Wow.
And it really was impactful. That was an impactful.
How could it not be?
It was and that changed my life. So when I came to Fort Lauderdale and I opened up the Royal Palms and I had this vision, for Fort Lauderdale, Greater Fort Lauderdale, I always saw the destination as being a world-class destination. At that time in the 80s and whatever, it was kind of a scrabby rust heap.
A bunch of old people were down here. It wasn't really a destination.
Old motels, $29 a night. But what Fort Lauderdale had that I visualized was the Intracoastal Waterway. I mean, and the ocean, the beach. And early on, it had a large gay community. Historically, it had a gay community. So it was a place that I felt very safe in, but it's a place that I knew that I wanted to be a part of. And it was a place that, I don't know why, but I just wanted to make it world class. I wanted to be a part. I wanted to be a spoke in that wheel. And I, opened the Royal Palms in 91, and very, very quickly we became one of the best well-known gay resorts, not only in the United States, but
in the world. Wow.
I literally won so many awards, rated number one every year. And, one of my claims to fame, because I always like in my marketing, everything I do, I think differently. I think differently to so many people. And so I would always be thinking out the box. And I remember I was in Hawaii one time on holiday, and I saw all these beautiful dendrobium orchids. And don't ask me why, but I said to myself, I've got an idea. I am going to put a dendrobium orchid in the toilet bowl. So when guests check in
the toilet bowl. Okay.
When guests check in to one of the rooms, they're going to go to the bathroom and they're going to lift up the toilet bowl, and there, floating, is a dendrobium orchid. Deco Drive interviewed me, and they did a whole story. You can see it on YouTube.
Oh my God, I bet.
But it was amazing.
I bet.
Everyone would say, "Oh my God, an orchid."
That's a great idea. Now someone's going to steal that. When you say that you came down here just because you had lost so many of your friends, to AIDS. Did you have survivor's guilt at all when you came down here and opened up the Royal Palm?
survivor's guilt. I never looked at it that way, but I felt grateful to be alive. And I think, truthfully, I was in a monogamous relationship, and that's probably why
Saved your ass.
that saved me.
Yeah.
And I was consumed in my career, completely consumed in my career. And then I had a second career, which was Gay Men's Health Crisis, which was being a volunteer. And I was absolutely committed to helping people in the end of their final stages of their life. I wanted to hold their hand when they left this earth. I wanted to be there for them. And
that is not something that most people say, Richard. I want to be there for someone's last breath.
I know, I did. I wanted to help them so much.
Wow.
And I felt so, I was going to swear.
You can swear?
No.
Okay, don't swear.
I felt so damn privileged. So damn privileged, like I do now.
Yeah.
But even more so then when I just saw, what they were going through with Kaposi sarcoma, with so many, PCP, with so many issues. And they didn't deserve it.
No.
Nobody
No,
deserves
of course
that.
not. No, and no one deserves to go through that. And here we are in 2024 where there's PrEP and there's all kinds of things. And I think that gay boys don't take HIV/AIDS seriously like they used to, because people live and thrive.
I think
with it now.
We do live and thrive, and I'm grateful for that. But I think what I want to do is I want our youth to remember our history, because we fought hard. It was a battle. And, as I said earlier, I lost all my friends.
Yeah.
And I had a huge circle of friends. I lost them all. And I want young people to remember that. Don't take your life for granted.
No. Tomorrow's
Don't
not
take it
guaranteed.
live. Yeah. And so, as I said, that really changed me. I'd always, the way I'd been raised by my parents was unusual, in that I was raised to be very open as far as having friends that were black or, Jewish, or I don't know. I never really was raised to see color. I was never raised to see religion. I was never raised to put somebody down if they were a Muslim or if they were an Indian and they had a red dot between their eyes. They were just
another human.
They were just human beings.
Yeah.
And that is my biggest gripe nowadays, is that we become so damn judgmental about people. And we really need to stop, breathe, reset, and start looking at people in a completely different way.
God,
and
you're so right.
move away from divisiveness and embrace people and respect them for who they are, what they are, and what they can do.
Completely, and who they are inside,
Right.
I love my gay boys, right? And you know that, right? And I'm always wondering why lesbians and gays are so separated, because I always go back to those stories of the 80s and 90s when the gay boys were shunned by their families and they had the lesbians there by them. I was raised with the understanding that lesbian and gays are under this umbrella because we're fighting for the same rights, right? So if these lesbians needed to make a baby, they could always go to the gay boys for some help, right? And vice versa. I kind of thought that was why we were all put together, And here we are, 2024, and we couldn't, on some things, we couldn't be more divided.
Right, we're still layered. I know.
And it's sad.
We need to work at it, all of us. It's a work in progress, and we need to work even harder than we are now.
You are part of Visit Lauderdale that we love. And, something that we see a lot down here in South Florida is cattiness between organizations, between places that we patronize, between all kinds of stuff, right? Something that you do is you work with all the organizations, right? And, you've got that wonderful way of being one of the best sponsors to a lot of events, in the area. If it's Prides, you're part of, Visit Lauderdale is part of everything, right? Is that deliberate?
Yes. I think we have to be Switzerland, first of all. I want to be Switzerland. And I think, we're funded by, we're a government agency. We're funded by TDT, tourist development tax. And, I try to be as impartial as I can, but I want to embrace and help as many people as I can in our community, but it's on certain terms that we have to meet. They have to meet certain criteria to receive funding from us. And, one of the biggest set of criteria is the room night justification. Is, my role is to talk about Fort Lauderdale, to promote Fort Lauderdale, and to bring visitors here and put bums in beds, to bring conferences here. And then hopefully those conference attendees, when they come here, they're going to be like so damn blown away. They're going to say, oh my God, I'm coming back. I want to come to Wilton Manors. I want to go to the gayest city in the United States of America. I want to experience Fort Lauderdale Beach and those 24 miles of golden, gorgeous sand. That, oh my God, that's the passion in me. That's why I love my job so much.
And I mean,
because I love it.
And you've been there over a decade and you still have that same passion, but it's because I think, I don't want to speak for you, like you said, Fort Lauderdale is freaking amazing. That's why, we live where people come to vacation, you know? And so I remember first moving here and so I came to Fort Lauderdale for a weekend and never left. That is my story, all right? That's literally my story. I came for a weekend and never left because I could not go back to gray-ass New Jersey after coming to Fort Lauderdale and seeing the beautiful beaches. And then somebody had told me, this is the Venice of the United States?
Yes.
And I had no idea what that was, but I didn't think I'd ever get to the real Venice. So I was like, all right, I ain't going nowhere, We've got museums. We've got botanical gardens. We've got the Everglades. We've got the Bonnet House. We've got our beaches. We have so much.
We do. We're blessed.
I'm not trying to sell it to you.
No,
you hear me?
But I love it. I love hearing you say that, and because it's true, and I enjoy your energy, and I feed off your energy and your passion. But I think what we do best at Visit Lauderdale, which nobody, and I say that not as with the big head, but what I say is we include everybody. We really do. We walk the walk, we talk the talk.
Everyone under the sun?
Everyone under the sun.
How perfect is that?
I mean, we talk to everybody. When you're marketing, everybody wants to be spoken to. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you have a visible or an invisible disability, if you're plus sized, if you have a different religion. I mean, you want to be spoken to.
You want to be seen.
We have to speak to all travelers. I don't want to speak to just perfect, gorgeous models that are in a magazine looking fabulous, or, a white couple or a token black person thrown in as a checkbox, I want to reflect who we are. And I think what we do like really, really, really well. And, I kudos to working for an amazing CEO, Stacey Ritter.
Love you, Stacey.
Love you, Stacey. What kudos is because we can do that. We have the freedom to do that.
Most places don't.
And why do we have the freedom to do that? Because it is the right thing to do.
Yes, sir.
And do you see other destinations doing that?
No.
I don't see other destinations doing what we're doing in the accessible platform.
No,
I don't see it at all.
And I wanted to talk about that because, you talk about creating awareness for travelers with visible and invisible disabilities.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does that mean, like invisible disabilities?
So invisible disabilities would be if you are deaf.
Okay.
You could have a hearing aids or whatever. If you came to me, if you checked in, at the airport, I don't know that you're deaf and you're not displaying that you're deaf. There's a program that we've been really, really working closely with. It was actually founded in Britain over 10 years ago.
Of course it was.
Not that I'm biased. Not that I'm biased at all, but it's the Sunflower Program. And I'm proud to say that FLL, Fort Lauderdale Airport, is a member of the Sunflower Program. And so it is for people with invisible disabilities, especially. So children that are part of the autism spectrum, for example, people that are mentally challenged, people that are deaf, people that have vision impaired. So what that does is it alerts the employees at the airport that that person might need a little bit of help. If they're looking stressed out, be extra nice to them.
That's wonderful.
And I think it's that awareness is something that we're good at.
Yes.
We're considerate in what we do.
No, yeah, and intentional, Richard. Because I don't, like you said, like you mentioned before about like just throwing a token person in or whatever it is. And again, I'm not saying that because you're sitting next to me, Richard. Okay, I've seen the commercials before you and I were friends, and I would look at a commercial and go, "Wow, everyone really is represented in this commercial," And sometimes it feels forced. Do you understand? It does not feel forced to Visit Lauderdale's campaigns. It just doesn't. But you see yourself there. You'll see yourself represented in some way, and that's just. And I'm more surprised that more people don't do that. And especially in a state like this that is governed by a Ron DeSantis. One of the many things that I love about you is that you lend your activism to trans rights. Right?
Yes.
Things are freaking bad. Things are bad. We all need to stand up for trans rights, not just trans folks, and you mentioned it before I can even say it. You're a privileged white man.
I am.
You don't have to stand with our trans folks, with our trans community, yet you do.
But I want to, and I want to be a voice. I can use my platform to be a voice for them. And when I created our transgender initiative in 2015, I'm an avid runner, as you know. I love to run. And I do all my thinking, all my strategic planning, everything I do when I'm running along A1A or around Birch Park. I love it. And so I'm like, my mind is...
Is that when you get your epiphanies?
Yeah. I'm always like thinking, what can we do? What can we do different? What can we do? How can we make a difference? How can we push the envelope? What's going to catch people's eye? And I said to myself, I have a big platform. I, speak everywhere, and I say LGBT, but what is T? I mean, what is T? And I knew it stood for transgender, but I didn't really know much about T. And here am I saying LGBT, LGBT, LGBT. I understand lesbian, I understand gay, I understand bisexual. So I went home to Auntie Google and I put in transgender. And then I started to just sift through everything about it. And I realized the complexity of the platform and also how these people were just so marginalized. And, it was breaking my heart. And I've forgotten the love of me, the name of this lady. She sadly recently died, and she was an inspiration. And I came up with a strategy that, we can create a transgender initiative. Why not create a transgender marketing campaign? So we did this internal study. We flew in people from around, bless you.
Bless you, Kelly.
Bless you, my darling. We flew in people from around the United States. We had people like Robert Boo from the Pride Center. So I wanted to have the support of our local community before we made this huge leap. And boy, this is pre-Caitlyn Jenner. To leap into the transgender platform. I mean, that was a big leap.
It's huge.
I mean, it was, when I look back on it, I realized it was courageous at the time. It was courageous.
It is. It's courageous today. Yes.
I'm surprised you aren't seeing more people doing it. Of course, now we've blended everything, and the trans is part of our mainstream campaign. You have to look at our mainstream campaign to see the trans people in it. But we made that leap, and I think that is one of the best parts of my job, is making these differences, being able to be voices for the trans platform, for non-binary, for everybody. I want to be a voice.
Completely.
I want to be a voice.
Completely. There are people who get mad at us, adding letters to our acronym, and I say F you, because the reality is that even if that needs to go 15 more letters, if it means that another person is seen, then that's then that's it.
Right.
You know, I mean, we've got to, if you don't know a trans person, find one. If you're not educated on the trans community, get educated. Like Richard said, you can Google at this point. The reality is that Black and brown trans women are getting killed at an alarming rate.
Shocking.
Okay. And then, you know, a lot of them are misgendered, and, you know, it's awful what's going on in the trans community. And we've been screaming about it for years, and we need more organizations like Visit Lauderdale to come and say, no, we're here for the entire community, not just, you know, the act, not just the letters that we're comfortable with, you know, or that we know more about, you know.
But to use our tagline, we are everyone under the sun. We welcome everyone under the sun, and we welcome you with wide open, loving, welcoming arms. And
Yes,
I
you
love
do.
that.
Yes, you do.
I mean, what destinations are out there? You know, when I see what's happened in the state, and over the last, you know, year and a half, I don't know, time goes by so quickly, and I see what's happened. I mean, this is the only county that has spoken out. We have spoken out for everybody. We're still marketing to our community. You know, we're not changing our tune.
No.
We're out there, and we're proud about that.
We are, and we're such an incredible LGBTQ plus destination. Folks in Kentucky, Arkansas, Idaho, all those places I'm never going to go, pack a bag and get your ass to Fort Lauderdale, all right? Let's talk about, you know what? Let's talk about Stacey Ritter. We're talking about Stacey. Stacey's going to be on my show in the next couple of weeks, so look out for that. I have a little crush on her. The last time I saw Stacey, I gave her a lap dance.
She's a rock star.
Wasn't asking
Stacey,
for it.
I'm talking about, is a rock star. Faye, of course, is.
She
Faye
is
what?
She is a rock star, though. So Stacey and Visit Lauderdale and you had a wonderful beginning of the year. January 1st was just kick ass to be able to turn on the TV and see the Rose Bowl parade and to see
Goosebumps.
Visit Lauderdale's. Wait, I'm getting goosebumps too. First ever float.
I know.
Richard, like, okay, folks at home, take a second. This is huge, like huge. And Stacey Ritter was at the helm of it and making sure that it was going to be impeccably perfect. Just how she's so detail oriented that I wasn't, you know, surprised at how beautiful the float came out. The inclusivity on the float. Who was on the float?
First of all, it was Stacey's idea. 101%. Period. She wanted to do it. She said, "This is something I want to do," and we did it. Was there hesitation?
I mean, it's California. We've never done it. It's a lot of money. Like,
there was no hesitation on Stacey's part, none whatsoever.
Stacey was like, "We've got to do this."
There was no hesitation on my part
because you're scared of Stacey. I
get
it.
I am not scared of Stacey. I always say I'm older. Like I use the old age thing, you know. I'm older. I'm
older than you, so you have to listen to me.
But it was amazing. So we had Stuart Milk on the float, which was amazing. We had the school teacher of the year. We had who else did we have? We had the a beautiful lady from the Seminole Indians. She was just stunning.
Oh my God! Yes. She's like the princess. I can't remember her name. Yes, but she's so gorgeous. Cypress, please don't kill me, okay? I know because Houston Cypress is going to kill me because I interviewed her and she's just a darling, beautiful girl. I know exactly who you're talking about, and divine and so well spoken.
Yes.
Oh wow. What a float. Go back and watch it. You can still watch it, all right? Because, hey, I DVR everything. I'm just saying, you know? Okay, so you brought Miss Kelly, and I wanted to talk a little bit about these cute little Scottish Terriers. You know that I'm a huge dog fan. I rescue dogs. I love dogs. I can't get enough of dogs. Luna is part of my show, and we had to send her on vacation to a daycation just to get her spa treatments down because we have Miss Kelly here with us today. And so I thought it'd be fun to tell you a couple of fun facts about Scottish Terriers since you're such a big fan of them, right?
Yes,
and see if you knew any of these things, all right?
Well, first of all, if you can look at my onesie that I bought specially for Faye Watt.
I love it.
Scotties are generally black. So I've always had Scotties. We've always had Scotties. Black ones. but I always wanted a Wheaten, and there aren't
And a
that
Wheaten
many.
is the white one.
Is the kind of sandy color.
Okay.
Some people think they're a West Highland Terrier, but they're not. So I always wanted a Wheaten. So there was an opportunity that came along. I know this lady who looks after abused dogs in Kansas. And this little beauty, this princess, she came from a puppy mill in St. Louis, Missouri. She had 50 puppies.
50?
50. And on her last litter, she had issues with her uterus and everything like that. She had to have surgery. The stitches broke. They had to staple her. And then they dumped her at a dog pound to be put down. And she is a most gorgeous specimen. And so this lady who looks after doggies, purebreds, that are, close to the edge from these disgusting puppy mills, she called me and she said, Richard, she said, I know you've just lost Kelly. This is my black Kelly. She said...
Oh, this is Kelly too?
This is Kelly too.
Uh-huh.
So...
And you had just lost...
Like 6 weeks earlier. And
Oof.
so I was still in that...
Yes, of course.
Teary stage.
Yes.
And she told me her story. Well, my God, she got me. So she said, I know you've always wanted a Wheaten. So I said, no problem. No problem.
So you went to Missouri to get...
Kansas. She was in Kansas. That's what she was being looked after in Kansas.
Oh my God, I love that. And now she is the queen of the Gray Castle.
Listen, Do
you travel with her sometimes?
No.
She's not a much.
No, we have friends that look after her in Hollywood, and she has a nice house and garden that she runs around. That's her domain.
Okay, got it. She has her vacations.
Well, yeah, but Scotties are really independent.
Okay.
And they're kind of stubborn. Not kind of. They are stubborn.
They are stubborn. Is that why you like them? Because they're little assholes?
I love that about them. It makes me laugh.
Okay, so I've got a couple of fun facts about Scotties, and I wanted to see if maybe you knew, okay? One, which I think we've kind of like alluded to, is that they kind of do their own thing. Like they're kind of like, if they like you when they like you, it's not up to you to go to them and start petting them and making a friend. When they want to be your friend, they'll go to you.
They will never go to you unless they want food.
Okay, so then don't expect for them to come to you, but don't go smothering them.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay. Next fun fact about Scottish Terriers, the dogs get cramps if they're too excited. Did you know that? No. When Scotties get too excited, they might experience something known as the Scotty cramp. The neurological disorder causes the muscles to tense up, making it hard to walk for the doggies. Dogs experiencing this cramp might just fall over. It's not a big deal. Luckily, these don't last too long and do not appear painful for the dogs.
Oh my God, I absolutely never knew that.
Oh my
God, you're a word of wisdom. My God.
I just know how to Google and Google.
Oh my God.
That's
Auntie Google.
Right?
Auntie Google.
Auntie Google. All right, next fun fact about Scottish Terriers, they are the favorite Monopoly piece. Did you know that? VP of Marketing for Hasbro Games, the Scotty has been the most beloved game piece in Monopoly since it was introduced in the 50s. It once received the most votes in a competition to decide which pieces would get to stay as part of the set. Sadly, the iron was thrown out.
Oh.
But the Scotty stayed. That is the number one.
Scotty rule.
That's the one I actually always go to, is the little doggy, always.
You rule, baby.
Right?
You daddy's
She's like,
girl.
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Fun fact about Scottish Terriers, they are very presidential. Did you know that?
Oh, yes.
The Scottish Terrier and the German Shepherds are the only two breeds to make a bunch of appearances at the White House.
Yes.
The Roosevelt family was infatuated with the breed.
They were.
Eisenhower was also a fan and had three named Talik, Shunki, and Cassie.
Very good.
George W. Bush had two named Barney and Miss
Barney,
Beasley.
of course.
Did you know that?
Yes, I know Barney. But you don't see. How often do you see Scottish?
No.
You don't see Scotties, really.
You don't.
They're kind of hard dogs to find. You used to see a lot in New York City.
You don't.
But down here, I hardly ever see a Scottie.
And what was it? Mark, my boy in bed, he was saying that he's got the other kind of dog that looks very similar to this. What is
Schnauzer.
it? A Schnauzer.
Oh,
Do they get some? They're lovely dogs
They're gorgeous.
too. Oh my
They have
God.
longer legs.
Okay.
Scotties are a little bit
More pudgier, more closer to the floor.
closer to the floor.
Okay.
Bless
All right.
her.
Yeah, no, easier to get treats.
Aren't you, sweetie pie?
Fun fact, Scottish Terriers win a lot at the Westminster Dog Show.
do.
Besides the Wire Fox Terrier, the Scottish Terrier has the most Westminster Dog Show wins of any breed with 8 awards.
You've done your homework. I'm very impressed.
You think I just sit here and talk crap?
No, I love the Westminster Dog Show.
Oh, me too. I
Oh my
watch
God.
it. I watch it every year. Like, I
Yeah.
can't. And that's also something else I DVR and just watch back,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
Like the Frenchies always win also. I love that. I love that. And that's it. Those are my fun facts of the Scottish Terriers. Did you like them?
I like them. I love them. I love you.
Yay! So, Richard, what is in store? What can we look forward to with Visit Lauderdale this year and next year? I know a lot of inclusivity.
Yeah,
I know you're going to support a lot of our favorite organizations.
of course. Of course. We are always going to push the envelope. We're always going to be there. We're always going to be waving the flag, whatever flag it is. When I mean flag, I mean the rainbow pride flag, the trans flag. We're going to be there. I promise we're going to be there. We're committed completely, 101%. I always say leadership starts right at the top of the ladder. Top of the ladder, Stacey Ritter. Okay? She's in. We're in.
And she's in. I mean, she makes it a point
So-
to make sure she's in. Okay, a personal question. One personal question.
My God. But I thought we said no personal questions.
One, just one.
I thought we said no personal questions.
Just one. How long have you been dating Mark Hunter?
Oh my God.
Come on, just tell
Oh
me.
my
I
God.
need to know. I know that you've got something with Mark. Okay, folks, Hunters, my favorite club. You guys know that. I'm there a lot, right? Mark Hunter. I love him. I host a bunch of events there. Mark Hunter is one of my favorite people on earth. I know you guys have something. Just tell me. It's not a big deal. You guys make an adorable couple.
Funnily enough, I'm having dinner with him tonight.
I bet you are. Is that like what you older folks call getting dinner?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Richard.
Say what?
Come on, tell me.
Older
tell me.
folks?
Tell me.
How dare you?
No, okay.
How dare you?
I'll take that back.
Take it back.
It's
Retract
taken
it.
back.
Thank you.
Sexier,
Hot.
hot.
Mark is a
Man.
wonderful man. He's a very special man, and he has a special place with me. Let's leave it like that.
I can't believe you didn't answer. You look at the pictures for yourself and you tell me what you think, okay? I'm just saying. If not, you guys should probably talk about
Mark
it.
is my Facebook husband. Okay, I said it. You got it out of me. You're crazy.
I am a little crazy. I am a
you
little
are
crazy.
so fun. I feed off you, your enthusiasm, your energy, your spontaneity. I love it.
Thank you, Richard.
And I think when that's what I feed off. I think when we go back and we talk about careers and we talk about accomplishments, we talk about accolades and everything like that. For me, it's feeding off being inspired. Surrounding yourself with people that are great.
Yes.
And it's okay to say great.
Yes.
It's okay to be great.
Yes.
I'm great.
You
You're
are great. I'm great.
Stacey
Kelly's
Ritter's
great.
great.
Stacey Ritter's great.
Kelly, you're the best.
Yes.
She's great.
But
that's what I look for.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think, I pay attention to people and I surround myself by people that inspire me, people that have vision, people that are making a difference. And I think we're all of us, we're in this planet, this earth, for such a short period of time.
it goes by so fast.
It goes by, yeah. And let's make a difference. Let's really, really make a difference. More so than ever now, we have to be visible. We have to be.
We have to be. This is an election
We've got to be out and proud
Yeah.
and speak out.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't want to push the envelope too much, but we have to.
We have to.
It's survival.
We have to. I mean, and there's anti-LGBTQ, laws constantly being put on the books. There's drag bans. There's so much stuff against us that I can understand how some people lose that passion and lose that fight. But this ain't the year to do it.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
it's just not.
Not me. I'm telling you.
And that's what I'm saying. You
Not me, Lord.
inspire me, Richard,
I will
because
never
you
lose
don't.
that. I will never.
I hope that I don't.
I will never lose that passion.
I hope that I don't.
Nope.
You know, because we need it. We need to clone your ass.
My
We need,
arse.
well, not your ass. I mean,
My arse?
okay, no, not.
Have you been looking at my arse?
Well, Mark Hunter told me. I love you, Richard Gray. I love Visit
you.
Lauderdale. Please make sure that you follow Richard Gray and Visit Lauderdale on all social media outlets. If you see Richard Gray out, say hello to him. Tell him
Yes,
thank you for
say
doing so
hello.
much for our community, because he does it. He does it even when he's off. Like, he just is such an incredible representation of our community, and we need more of that.
You're so nice. Thank you.
I
You're
love
more
you.
than nice. I love you.
Mwah! Thank you so much, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
all you do. Make sure that you follow him on all social media, and we will be right back.
Thank you so
Kelly,
much.
say goodbye.
Say goodbye, darling. Say goodbye. Say bye.
Bye.